why would these people be in Arabia? Why would they be in Medina of all places? Why not China? Why not South America? The answer is very simple, because the scripture says so. So, the fact that the original Torah Injeel spoke about a prophet to come in the vicinity of Arabia, more specifically in Mecca and Medina, is why there were people waiting for him in Arabia. Now, some of them say, but why did they presume he was Jewish if he's in Arabia? Well, this is assuming that Jewish prophets wouldn't come from other lands, or prophets in the Bene Israel. Moses was born in Egypt. Dawood was born in Palestine. And Ezra, according to the Jews, was born in Persia. That doesn't mean that they're not Bene Israel. So the Jews were waiting, and they did assume that he was a prophet from Bene Israel. They didn't assume that he was an Arab prophet. And there's many hadith about this. We can't read all of them, but you can screenshot it and read it in your own time. But they assumed that the prophet would be from amongst them. They assumed he would be from amongst the Bene Israel. This hadith also shows that they were shocked when they realized the prophethood had left the Bene Israel. Subhanallah. They found out that the prophethood was actually with an Arab, and they were shocked that the prophethood had left the tribe. We also have Heraclius, who he did not accept Islam, but he was expecting a circumcised prophet, and he also assumed that he would be from the Bene Israel. He didn't expect they would be Arab, because there'd been so many from amongst the Bene Israel. There's also hadith speaking about that the religion that they were seeking has appeared in their country, meaning Mecca, Medina, in this area. Again, the prophecy being specific to the location. It's not telling them to go to China. If it did, they'll be in China. But again, they had prophecies that were telling him to go to Mecca and Medina. Also, another hadith about that, a prophecy about the location, and also a prophecy about the Jews rejecting the final prophet due to them being jealous of him being an Arab, and the fact that the prophecy had left the Bene Israel. Also, we have the Christian monks who were waiting for a final prophet. Abdullah bin Salam and his teachers, subhanallah, clearly they were waiting for a final prophet, and Bahira the monk also waiting for a prophet from this location, or from the Arabs. Again, there's a mixture of prophecies about the location, about the tribe, all these different prophecies. This explains why there was 3 tribes of Jews waiting in Medina for the coming of a prophet, as well as a few of the remnants from the people of the book who were on the true religion of Moses and Jesus. This is evidence that they didn't divide until the evidence had reached them, and most of them rejected. It says, nor did those who were given the scripture become divided until after there had come to them clear evidence. So, as we mentioned before, the Jews were waiting for a prophet. They were all in agreement until the proof came to them that no, the final prophet is actually an Arab. And then they divided. And this is why we get the division. And as we said, there's many Jews and Christians who did accept that he was a prophet, but most of them rejected him because of racism, because of pride, because of lineage. However, there were considerable amount of converts from the people of the book who accepted Islam, or accepted his prophethood, mind you. They may have not accepted Islam, but they accepted he was a prophet. Like Heraclius, he didn't accept Islam, but he recognized him as a prophet, etc. So there were many instances of many converts amongst the Jews and Christians as well.